As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of pink and orange, you find yourself standing at the edge of a forest, unlike any you've seen before. The trees here are tall, their trunks gnarled and twisted, as though they've stood watch over the world for centuries. The air smells sweet, filled with the fragrance of pine and fresh moss, a cool breeze rustling through the leaves. You've heard stories, whispers, really, of a magical town hidden deep in this very forest. A town untouched by time, where the ordinary world fades away and the wonders of the imagination come to life. Tonight, under the soft glow of the rising moon, something inside you stirs. Perhaps it's the longing for adventure, or maybe the promise of magic. But you know that tonight is the night you'll venture into the woods and discover if the stories are true. You take a deep breath and step forward, your feet crunching on the path of soft earth and fallen leaves. The forest seems alive, not with the usual sounds of birds or insects, but with something quieter, an energy that hums beneath the surface, like the heartbeat of the world itself. The trees sway gently, as if they're guiding you forward, and you feel an odd sense of comfort, as though you belong here, even though this place is completely unfamiliar. The deeper you go, the more you begin to notice things that shouldn't be there. Small, glowing lights flickering between the trees like fireflies. But there's something different about them. They don't just float in the air. They move with purpose, leading you deeper into the heart of the forest. You follow them, your curiosity growing with every step. After a while, the path opens up into a clearing. At the center of the clearing stands a small bridge made of intricately carved stone. It arches over a stream that sparkles with an ethereal blue light, its waters gently bubbling and whispering secrets you can almost understand. Beyond the bridge, you see it, the town. At first, it seems to shimmer in and out of existence, as though it's not quite real, but as you step closer, it solidifies into a vibrant, living place. The houses are small but charming, each one painted in soft colors, their roofs covered in ivy and moss. The streets are cobbled, winding around fountains that sparkle with water as clear as crystal. The air is filled with the faint sound of music, a melody carried on the breeze, soft and inviting. You cross the bridge and step onto the cobbled streets, your footsteps light and echoing in the stillness. Everything around you feels otherworldly, yet welcoming, as though the town is expecting you. As you wander through the streets, you begin to notice the people, strange yet familiar. Some are dressed in flowing robes, their faces adorned with masks of different creatures, wolves, owls, deer, and others wear simpler clothes, their eyes glowing softly in the moonlight. One of them, a tall figure draped in silver, approaches you. The figure smiles, and you can feel the warmth of their gaze, as though they've known you forever. "Welcome to Valenwood," they say, their voice smooth like the song of the river. The town that exists between the waking world and dreams. A place where magic is not just a story, but a reality. You blink, unsure of what to say. The words come out of your mouth before you can stop them. How did I find this place? The figure chuckles softly. "You've always known the way," they reply. "Sometimes you just need to listen to the quiet voice inside that tells you where to go." With a wave of their hand, the figure beckons you to follow them, and as you do, you realize the town is full of wonders you've only ever imagined. You pass a bakery, the scent of warm bread and cinnamon wafting into the air, and you notice the cakes and pastries on display, floating gently above the counter, as though held by invisible hands. Further down the street, a small group of children play with glowing orbs that bounce through the air, lighting up the dark corners of the street. They laugh, their voices tinkling like wind chimes in the breeze. You're led through the town until you come to a large, open square where a fountain sits in the center. The water in the fountain doesn't just shimmer in the moonlight. It dances, swirling in patterns that change with every passing moment. A few figures are gathered by the fountain, their faces serene as they watch the waters dance. The figure in silver turns to you. This town, they say softly, is a place of magic, yes, but it's also a place of peace. Here, time slows down. The worries of the world slip away. Everyone who comes to Valenwood comes for something, whether it's answers, healing, or simply a place to rest their souls. You take in the scene, feeling a sense of calm wash over you. Perhaps this place is not just magical, but a sanctuary, a place where you can leave behind the struggles and noise of the outside world. The figure gestures toward a small, elegant building on the edge of the square, its windows glowing with a soft, golden light. That, they say, is the heart of Valenwood. If you ever seek guidance or solace, that is where you must go. You nod, feeling a deep pull toward the building. But before you can take another step, the figure in silver smiles again. In time, you will understand more about this place and its secrets. But for tonight, enjoy the beauty of Valenwood. Let the magic surround you. As they turn and disappear into the crowd, you stand for a moment, taking it all in. The quiet hum of life in Valenwood, the soft glow of the lanterns, the music that drifts on the breeze. You realize that this night, this journey, is just beginning. And as you take your first step toward the heart of Valenwood, you know that whatever happens next will be part of a story that will stay with you forever. As you stand in the square, taking in the peaceful atmosphere, the quiet hum of life in Valenwood wraps around you like a warm, comforting blanket. There's something magical about this place, a sense that time itself doesn't move the same way here. It's as though each second stretches, allowing you to savor every moment. You look around, noticing that the faces of the people who walk by you are serene, their expressions calm and content. There are no hurried footsteps, no anxious glances. Everyone moves at their own pace, completely at ease. The figure in silver, who you now realize may be a guide of sorts, begins to walk away, but not before giving you one last piece of advice. Tonight, they say, their voice soft and melodic, you must rest. The magic of Valenwood works best when you are at peace with yourself. Tomorrow, the real journey begins. There are places here that will show you things you have long forgotten, and others that will reveal what you have yet to understand. With those cryptic words, they fade into the crowd, leaving you to explore on your own. You decide to take their advice. You've wandered far enough for one night. As the moonlight dances across the cobblestones, you find yourself drawn to a nearby inn. The building is a quaint structure with ivy creeping up its stone walls, and the windows are warm and inviting. A sign hanging above the door reads, "The Moonlit Haven." The sound of soft laughter and music drifts from within, filling the air with a sense of homecoming. You step inside and are immediately greeted by the warmth of the fire crackling in the hearth. The room is cozy, with wooden beams overhead and a collection of mismatched chairs and tables scattered around. A small group of travelers are seated at the bar, laughing and chatting, while an elderly woman behind the counter offers a kind smile as you enter. "Ah, a newcomer," she says, her eyes twinkling with a hint of mischief. "Welcome to the Moonlit Haven, where stories are shared and dreams take flight." She gestures to an empty chair by the fire. "Please make yourself at home. I'll fetch you something to warm you for the night. It's been a long journey, I'm sure." You sit, the warmth of the fire seeping into your skin as you take a deep breath, feeling the weight of the day's adventures settle into the background. The soft crackling of the fire fills the silence, and you notice the patterns of the flames dance in mesmerizing ways. They seem to change shape as they move, almost as if they're telling stories of their own. The elderly woman returns with a steaming mug of something fragrant. You take a sip and immediately feel its warmth spread through your body. It's a sweet, earthy drink with hints of honey and cinnamon. "This will help you sleep," she says with a wink. "In Valenwood, rest is not just a necessity, it's part of the magic." You smile and nod, grateful for her hospitality. The mug feels comforting in your hands, and the heat from the fire, combined with the peaceful atmosphere of the inn, begins to lull you into a sense of calm. As you sip your drink, the elderly woman sits down across from you. "You found your way here, but there's more to this town than meets the eye," she says, in a voice that is low and soothing, like a secret waiting to be told. Valenwood is a place for dreamers, for those who seek the answers that the waking world cannot provide. But it can also be a place of great challenge. Not everything is as it seems, and there are those who come here with darker intentions. Your curiosity piques, but before you can ask more, she raises a hand. "But don't worry about that now. The magic of this place is strong, and it will guide you as long as you trust it. There is time enough for you to learn what you need when you are ready." With that, she rises and leaves you to your thoughts, and you find yourself staring into the fire, your mind adrift with possibilities. The inn begins to quiet down as the night deepens, and the travelers begin to retire to their rooms. You finish your drink, and feeling your eyelids growing heavy, decide to take the elderly woman's advice. You stand and follow a narrow staircase to a small room at the end of the hall. The door creaks softly as you push it open, revealing a simple bed covered with a quilt of deep blue and silver. The room feels like a sanctuary, quiet, warm, and safe. You lay down, the softness of the bed welcoming you. You close your eyes, letting the calmness of the town wash over you. For the first time in a long while, you feel at peace. When you wake up, the world outside the window is bathed in the soft light of dawn. Birds are singing in the trees, and the scent of fresh bread and herbs drifts through the air. You stretch, feeling refreshed and renewed, as if you've slept for 100 years. You rise from the bed and look out the window, where the town of Valenwood is just beginning to stir. People are already going about their morning routines, but there's no sense of rush or urgency. The pace here is gentle, unhurried. The world seems to move in harmony with the rhythms of nature, and you feel yourself drawn into it. As you prepare to leave the inn, the elderly woman from last night appears again, her eyes bright and filled with a knowing smile. "Good morning," she says warmly. "I trust you slept well." You nod, and she continues. "The day ahead will be filled with discovery. Valenwood holds many secrets, but some of them must be sought out. There's a place in the forest where the trees speak if you're brave enough to listen." Your heart skips a beat at the mention of this mysterious place. "Where can I find it?" you ask eagerly. The elderly woman's smile deepens. "Follow the path to the east, but be careful. Many have sought that place and never returned, not because of danger, but because they were not ready for what they would learn." You thank her and make your way out the door, the town of Valenwood now fully awake around you. The air is crisp and fresh, the sky a deep blue. You feel as though something important is about to happen, as though your adventure is just beginning. You set off toward the eastern edge of Valenwood, following the winding path that leads into the heart of the forest. The sun is rising higher now, casting its warm, golden light through the canopy of trees, creating a patchwork of shadows on the ground. The air is cool, but carries a gentle warmth, as though the forest itself is alive, breathing along with you. As you step onto the path, you notice the trees here are different from those you passed on the way into town. These are ancient, their trunks wide and gnarled, their branches twisting high above to form a canopy so thick that only dappled beams of light manage to filter through. The forest feels alive with something more than just nature. A pulse, a hum beneath the surface, as though the very soil you walk on is imbued with magic. The path is soft underfoot, the earth cushioned by thick layers of moss and fallen leaves. Birds sing in the distance, their songs almost melodic. But as you walk deeper, the sounds around you begin to change. The air grows heavier, and the forest seems to become more still. Even the birds fall silent. You realize that you're no longer hearing the usual sounds of wildlife. No insects, no rustling leaves. Instead, you are surrounded by a profound quiet, one that feels like a deep secret waiting to be uncovered. After a few moments, you reach a clearing. The trees here open up to reveal a vast, ancient oak at the center. It towers above the others, its roots twisted and knotted into the earth like veins. Its bark is dark, almost black, and you can see faint, shimmering markings etched into its surface, glowing softly. The markings seem to pulse with a rhythm, as though the tree itself is breathing. Approaching cautiously, you feel an odd sensation in the pit of your stomach, a mix of excitement and trepidation. There's something about this tree, something ancient and powerful, that calls to you. You place a hand on its bark, and immediately, a jolt of energy courses through you. The world around you shifts, and for a moment, you feel as though you are no longer standing in the forest, but in the midst of a vast, swirling vortex of time and space. Images flood your mind, visions of distant pasts and possible futures, of people long forgotten and events yet to come. You see the forest in all its forms, from the time it was just a seedling sprouting from the earth, to the towering giants it has become today. You see the town of Valenwood, not as it is now, but as it once was, a place of wonder and mystery, where magic flowed like a river, and the trees themselves whispered secrets to those who would listen. But then, something shifts. A voice, faint at first, begins to speak in your mind. Not all who seek the forest's secrets are ready to hear them. The voice is soft, like a whisper on the wind, but it carries a weight of wisdom that is both comforting and unsettling. You draw your hand away from the tree, your heart racing. The vision fades, but the voice lingers in your mind. You step back from the oak, your senses heightened. The forest is still silent, but now you feel the presence of something or someone watching you. The trees around you seem to shift, their branches creaking and swaying in a wind that you cannot feel. You take a deep breath, steadying yourself. Whatever lies ahead, you know it is not a journey that can be taken lightly. Turning to leave the clearing, you catch sight of a figure standing in the shadows at the edge of the trees. It's a woman, cloaked in robes of deep green, blending into the forest as if she is a part of it. Her face is hidden beneath a hood, but her eyes, glowing with an otherworldly light, lock onto yours. "You've touched the heart of the forest," she says, her voice smooth and melodic. "The oak has shared its visions with you, but now you must decide whether you are ready to walk its path." You are taken aback. "What do you mean?" you ask. The woman steps forward, her movements graceful and fluid. "The forest has many secrets, but it will only reveal them to those who are willing to listen. To truly understand the magic of Valenwood, you must first understand the forest itself." She gestures toward the trees around you. There are places deeper in the woods where the ancient spirits dwell. They guard the balance between this world and the next. You may seek them, but they will not reveal themselves freely. To meet them, you must prove your worth by overcoming the trials of the forest. A chill runs down your spine. Trials? You hesitate for a moment, unsure whether you should press forward. But something inside you stirs. A pull, a longing for discovery. The desire to understand the magic of this place outweighs the fear that creeps up your spine. "I'm ready," you say, though your voice betrays a hint of uncertainty. The woman nods, her eyes gleaming with approval. "Then follow me." She turns and begins to walk into the forest, her robes rustling softly like the wind through leaves. You follow, your footsteps light on the earth. As you move deeper into the woods, the forest begins to change again. The trees grow denser, their trunks twisting into strange, unfamiliar shapes. The air grows cooler, and the scent of pine and moss is replaced by something sharper, an ancient, earthy fragrance that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. You soon come upon a narrow path, almost hidden by thick undergrowth. The woman stops before it and turns to you. "This is the path," she says softly. "It will lead you to the trials of the forest. But remember, Not everything you encounter here will be what it seems. Some things may try to mislead you. Others may test your courage. You must trust your instincts. With that, she steps aside, allowing you to take the first step onto the path. The moment your foot touches the ground, a strange energy pulses through the air. The forest seems to hold its breath, and you feel a twinge of apprehension. But you press forward, determined to discover the truth of Valenwood and the magic that flows through it. The path winds through the trees, and you lose track of time as you walk. The deeper you go, the more you begin to sense that you are not alone. The trees seem to whisper, their voices indistinct but constant, and you feel eyes upon you, watching, waiting. But there is no turning back now. At the end of the path, you find yourself standing before a large, moss-covered stone. Its surface is engraved with symbols that seem to shimmer in the faint light. You reach out to touch it, and as your fingers make contact, the stone trembles. The symbols glow brighter, and the ground beneath your feet begins to rumble. Suddenly, the air grows thick with an unnatural stillness. You can feel the magic in the air now, heavy and charged, like a storm waiting to break. You know that you are standing at the threshold of something powerful, something that will change everything. The woman's voice echoes in your mind again, soft and distant. The trials are not just tests of strength, but of the soul. Prepare yourself, for what you face here will reveal the deepest parts of your being. You step cautiously away from the ancient oak, feeling the weight of the forest around you. The air is thick with mystery, and the silence is now almost suffocating. Every step you take feels like it leads deeper into an unknown realm, a place where reality bends and the line between dream and waking world blurs. As you continue down the path, the trees seem to grow even more towering and twisted. The light filtering through their leaves is dimmer now, the shadows longer. You hear the distant rustle of something in the underbrush. But when you look, there's nothing to be seen. Suddenly, the ground beneath your feet shifts. It's as if the earth itself has opened up, and you're standing on the edge of something far older and far deeper than anything you've known. You see a faint glow ahead, a soft, pulsing light that beckons you forward. There's a sense of both danger and wonder in the air, a feeling that whatever lies ahead is as ancient as the forest itself. Drawing a breath, you follow the glowing trail. The path soon opens into another clearing, and in its center is a large, shallow pool, glowing with an otherworldly light. The water in the pool ripples gently, as if stirred by an unseen force. Around the edge of the pool, strange symbols are etched into the stone, their edges glowing faintly in the dim light. You feel an inexplicable pull toward the water, as though it's calling you. A soft whisper echoes in the air, almost imperceptible, but clear enough for you to hear. It's not a voice, but a sensation, a knowing. Drink from the pool, it says, and you will see what has been hidden for ages. You hesitate, your heart racing. What could this water reveal? What secrets would it uncover? You glance around, but there's no one in sight. The forest, it seems, has quieted even further, waiting, as though the trees, the wind, and the earth are holding their breath. The pull is too strong to resist. You kneel by the edge of the pool and, with trembling hands, cup the water. It's cool, with a slight shimmer that makes it feel alive. You drink. At first, nothing happens. The water tastes as pure and refreshing as any you've ever had. But then, something shifts within you. Your vision blurs for a moment, and the world around you seems to dissolve. A wave of understanding floods your mind. You see the forest as it was long ago, in its primeval state. Towering giants, older than time, stretching their limbs to the sky. You see the town of Valenwood as it was centuries ago, alive with creatures of magic, beings that walk between the worlds. Elves and fae, creatures of legend, who now walk the earth only in stories. You witness ancient rituals, the weaving of spells that shaped the land, and the forging of bonds between the creatures of the forest and the hidden realm. But that's not all. You begin to see what the forest holds beyond the stories. In the deepest, most hidden groves, there are creatures not of this world. Giant, luminous beings that drift between the trees like living constellations. Their presence more felt than seen. Wisps of light that flicker in and out of existence, elusive as thoughts. And then you see something else, something darker. Beneath the roots of the trees, in the very earth itself, there's a presence, a force that has slumbered for eons, waiting. It is ancient and powerful, older than the forest, older than the world itself. It stirs now, roused by your touch, by your presence. A shadow, a whisper that crawls through the cracks in reality. As quickly as the vision comes, it fades, and you're back at the pool. The air feels heavier now, the forest still and watchful. Your heart pounds in your chest as you stand, the weight of what you've seen pressing down on you. You've glimpsed the very soul of the forest, the magic that runs through its veins, and the ancient secrets it holds. And now, it seems, you are a part of that story. As you take a step back from the pool, the glowing light begins to fade, and the symbols etched in the stone return to their dormant state. But the forest is no longer the same. It feels alive, aware of you. The trees seem to lean closer, the air thick with anticipation. You've uncovered the truth of this place, and it's now bound to you. The forest has shown you its mysteries, but it has also left you with a choice. The force you sensed beneath the earth is waking, and whatever path you choose from here could change the fate of this magical realm forever. Will you delve deeper into the heart of the forest and face what lies beneath? Or will you return to Valenwood, to the safety of the town and the peaceful magic that it offers? The forest is waiting. And so is your next step. The forest around you still hums with energy, the air thick with the weight of the ancient secrets you've uncovered. The vision of the sleeping force beneath the earth lingers in your mind. But the pull of Valenwood, of the peaceful town you left behind, tugs at your heart. The choice, as it stands, is clear. You turn your back on the shimmering pool, the fading glow casting one last soft light on the path ahead. The forest seems to sigh with you, as though it understands your decision. The trees stand tall and silent, their watchful eyes upon you as you retrace your steps. The quiet pulse beneath the earth doesn't seem so distant now. It's as if the whole forest has wrapped you in its embrace, guiding you safely back toward the town. With each step, the tension in the air begins to loosen, and the shadows that once seemed so heavy start to lift. The path that had once felt so mysterious now feels familiar, comforting, as though the forest is giving you space to breathe, to think, to make sense of what you've seen. The music from Valenwood drifts on the breeze, a soft melody that reminds you of the life waiting for you there. After what feels like both an eternity and a mere moment, the towering trees open up to reveal the first glimmers of light. The town of Valenwood appears, serene and undisturbed. The winding, cobbled streets, the charming homes, the glowing fountains, all of it feels like a world apart from the mystery of the forest. And yet, it's all part of the same story, an intricate tapestry of magic, wonder, and hidden truths. You cross the bridge again, the one you first encountered when you entered Valenwood, and with it, the weight of the unknown seems to lift. The fountain by the square glows softly in the moonlight, the air still and filled with the sounds of the townsfolk going about their evening, unaware of the adventures and revelations you've just experienced. You pause by the fountain, watching the water swirl and dance. The figure in silver, the one who welcomed you when you first arrived, approaches again, their presence as calm and serene as before. They smile softly at you, their eyes knowing, as if they've sensed everything you've encountered in the forest. "Did you find what you were seeking?" they ask, their voice gentle, as though they already know the answer. You nod, feeling a sense of peace wash over you. "I did," you reply quietly. "I saw the forest's heart, its secrets, but I chose to come back, to this place." The figure's smile deepens. Wise. Valenwood is a place of sanctuary, a place of rest for those who walk between worlds. Not everyone who enters the forest is ready to face what it holds, but you found the balance. And now, you are a part of its story too. You glance up at the starry sky, a sense of quiet satisfaction settling over you. The path that led you here may have been one of mystery and magic, but it's also one of choice. You realize now that Valenwood is more than just a town. It's a place of peace, a place where the stories of the world come together, and where the threads of destiny weave their way into something greater. The figure in silver steps back, their form blending into the shadows of the night. "Rest now," they say, their voice carrying on the wind. "Tomorrow will bring new wonders, new adventures. But for tonight, let the town cradle you in its embrace." You watch them disappear into the quiet night, the soft melody of the town filling the air once more. And as you walk toward the heart of Valenwood, where the golden lights of the buildings beckon you, you know that you've found something precious, a place of magic, of peace, and of endless possibility. And so, your journey in the enchanted forest comes to a close, for now. But as you rest under the stars in the town that lives between dreams and reality, you understand that every moment, every step, is part of the greater adventure that lies ahead. And with that, you close your eyes, the quiet night wrapping around you like a blanket, and drift into a peaceful, dreamless sleep, knowing that the magic of Valenwood will always be waiting just beyond the horizon.